What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Jordxn. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to become an artist engineer hybrid. You know what I'm saying? If you want to add producer or whatever else in there, you can add that in there too. This should be able to point you in the direction or whatever it is you're trying to do. But really, we're going to be focusing on the artist engineer hybrid because that's what majority of people want to be, right? So look at the screen. I did a poll and I was like, is your main goal to be a successful rapper or become an engineer and only mix for others? Out of 1.1k votes, 26% said they want to be only a rapper. Then you had 6% saying they only want to engineer. That's very low. You know what I'm saying? That's very fucking low because don't nobody strictly just want to be an engineer, right? Everybody want to do something other than engineer. And then we have I only want to mix my own songs and rap. That's 67%. So I was thinking just in general, like majority of people on my channel want to be able to mix and record themselves and put their own songs out themselves without having to go through an engineer or all the other shit. So that's what this video is going to be about. And the first thing we're going to talk about is you have to understand that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a long journey. All of your favorite rappers do not mix, master, record themselves, make their own beats. All of your favorite rappers do not do that. All the artists in the world do not do that. Artists have recording engineers. Artists have mixing engineers. Artists have mastering engineers. They labels do not let them do certain things. Even independent artists do not do everything themselves. Most indie labels have engineers in staff. They have in-house production, whatever. Rappers might be recording themselves, but they're not really mixing or mastering. But that's the difference. If you want to be the artist and engineer, you can do it. It's not going to be easy though. It's going to be hard. It's going to put some time in. You got to learn your craft. You got to be dedicated and all this other shit. Because it's like you got artists like Russ. Russ writes his music, records his music, makes his beats, mixes, masters. He does everything. He wears a lot of hats. He does that because that's how he built his brand up doing it. Like he learned how to do everything. If you want to learn how to do everything and do it, do it. But if you don't have time to learn how to do everything, but you got the money and the resources, pay the people to do the job. Make them a part of your team so your shit can be easier. But look, between now and 10 years from now, it's going to be a lot of artists, engineers out there because majority of these rappers are coming up watching YouTube videos, learning how to record themselves, learning how to use Pro Tools, using templates, using presets. You know what I'm saying? To make songs faster, to get better songs. And then they learn how to mix along the way. They learn how to master along the way. They don't just instantly believe they can do everything right then. It's a process, But I'm just letting you know. The first thing you got to understand, it's not going to be easy, But you can do it. Everybody's not going to be able to do it. But you just might be able to do it. And the second thing about being an artist engineer hybrid is you got to understand what DAW you like, right? There's a lot of different DAWs out there. There's not a correct one. There's an industry standard one, but there's not a correct one. You can get a good mix on an iPhone. I don't give a fuck what a nigga say. You can mix on whatever the fuck it is. It's all about your ear versus the gear. The gear helps, right? Can't even knock that. Gear makes shit a lot easier. But I know people that have a lot of fucking gear, a lot of fucking plugins, and they mix it sound like shit. And I know people that don't have shit and they shit sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all depends on you, the person. You, the artist, you, the engineer. How do you want your sound to be? Whatever. And then it's like, you might like Pro Tools, but you don't know how to use Pro Tools. So, but your mixes sound better when you do it in FL Studio. So, guess what you should do? Use the DAW you get the best sound in. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. You might like to record on Pro Tools. Get the stems out, put it in the FL, mix. Go on about your day. It's all about your process, man. The third thing you got to understand about being an artist engineer, you're going to have to develop a process. Like, it's going to have to be a process. You're going to have to learn what you really like. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a lot of trial and error. You're going to be like, should I set up this record track like this? Should I do this like this? Like, do I want to record the hook, mix the hook, then record the verse later? Do I want to record this and mix everything later? Are you going to mix as you go? What is going to be your process? Because if you're being the artist and engineer, sometimes the engineering you might prolong the time of you finishing the song, and that can cause issues. You don't want to have those unnecessary issues like that. So are you going to be the person that's going to be okay with being able to mix on the fly as you go, or are you going to have to record everything then go back and mix on it? Because people often might think they could be able to multitask, but when they start to multitask, they might get confused and they just fuck up, and then it's just all bad. Like, niggas never finish songs. So that's another thing you kind of want to keep in mind when you're trying to be the artist and the engineer. You know, if you want to be this hybrid, it's, you know what I'm saying, this is another part that you're gonna have to learn to deal with. And the fourth tip I got for you is decide if you're gonna make your own presets, templates to record with, or you're gonna spend money on recording templates from Wave Monopoly, Wavy Wayne. You're gonna buy Help Me Divines, Jordan Baywoods. I don't fucking know who else is selling shit, but everybody on YouTube is selling shit right now. Federo shit. What are you gonna buy? Because you're gonna have to have a template for sure. Like at some point, you're gonna have a template. I know people, they spend a lot of time create their own templates. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna buy a bunch of templates and learn how to create your own from those, or what? Like, what are you gonna do? Because you can go, if you don't have the money to buy a template, you can learn how to build a vocal chain. It's not really that hard. You gotta think about the plugins that you like. Is it gonna be like, do you like Autotune? You will put Autotune. Add a little compression, add a compressor. You want a little EQ, add a little EQ. You want to boost your signal up again, add a little mic pre, or just adjust the compression. Whatever it is you gotta do. Like, if you don't know anything about building a vocal chain, I would suggest buy a template or hit an engineer up and go book a session with an engineer and have an engineer build you a template to record with. And the fifth tip I got for you is to take your time and understand how to mix. Learn the mixing process. Learn the different techniques that you will need to be the engineer that you are filling the shoes for. You know, because once people start off with music, their first thing is, I want to be an artist. You know, I don't know too many people that got into being engineers as people that strictly only wanted to engineer. People were artists first. People are creators first, right? People are like, they probably try to make beats. When people make beats, they have to learn how to mix some, because they have to mix the beats, right? So mixing goes both ways. To be an artist and you want to record yourself, you got to understand how to set up a template. You got to understand what plugins work. You might have to adjust settings and do all this other different shit. So that makes you kind of an engineer, you know? But then you got to learn how to mix though. You know what I'm saying? Using plugins and presets to record is completely different from mixing, right? Balancing things out, you know, automating and doing all kind of other shit. Like, that is mixing. So take your time, learn the craft. Like, you have to learn how to mix. You have to learn why you do certain things, and things that you should kind of avoid, and things that you can pretty much do. There's really no rules on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many different ways how you can mix a vocal. So you don't want to just go and watch this video, this video, this video, this video, that video, and be so confused. You just need to learn the basics. You need to learn what each knob does. You need to learn like the EQ frequencies. You need to know what a compressor is. You need to know what reverb is and what delay is. You need to know the terminology, all this other shit. Just take your time, learn the basics, and build from there. Tip number 6 is completely up to you, all right? Because you can be an artist engineer and still not be able to mix your own music. Like, you get to choose what you want to do, because you're the business, you're the boss, right? You're the boss, you're the one that gets to pick and choose whatever it is you want to do. So you might decide you want to be able to record yourself, you want to record your songs, you want to do rough mixes. All right, you do rough mixes. You might want to find an engineer you can send the session to be like, bruh, clean this up for me. I ain't got time to do it. Just clean this up and send it back to me. All right, you pay that and they send it back. You like it, you good. And then you build that relationship with that person, and that becomes like your mixing engineer, because you did the rough draft and you just don't have time to mix. So it's like, boom, I did what I wanted to do to it, or all I could do it to it. So let me send it to somebody else that can clean it up and maybe do a little bit better than me from what I did, or picked off where I left off, and finish it. There's nothing wrong with that. Or you could be the engineer that does the recording, the mixing, and you don't really know how to master. You can find a mastering engineer, a person that strictly masters, right? And get them to master your songs. Or you might be good at mastering songs, but you can't really mix, right? So you would find somebody to send the song off to mix it, and then they send it back and you master it. It's so many different levels. Or you might be a mixing engineer and you don't like to record yourself, right? So shit, what do? You get somebody to record you, and then you mix and master. It's just different levels. Decide, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because if you want to be this hybrid of a person, we gotta have like a plan. We gotta have like a structure, because it's like, you don't want the engineer to take too much control away from the artist, and you are the artist, and then you're just always back and forth conflicting and battling with yourself about what it is that you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wanna be able to find balance, right? So decide what it is that you're gonna do, because you don't want to put too much on your plate that you can't handle. Tip number 7, you gotta learn how to finish the songs. All right, you gotta learn how to finish the songs, because once you start to record yourself and get the mixing on the fly, you might never finish the song, because you're gonna get too invested in the mixing an unfinished song. Because let's say you record the hook and you spend 2 hours mixing the hook, or re-recording the hook and mixing on the hook, and then you just get tired of the song, you never finish the song. No, you gotta determine what your process is gonna be. That's why I said earlier, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna record the song first, then mix it, or you gonna record the hook, mix the hook, then go back and do the verses? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Or are you gonna record a bunch of songs and then let's say like you record a bunch of songs on Monday, and you be like, shit, Friday is gonna be my mixing day, so I'm gonna record all week, but I gotta mix on Fridays. Like, what is it gonna do? Like, you gotta make a schedule or something. Like, you have to be organized, you have to finish songs, because this is another problem that a lot of artists have that are engineers that are mixing their own stuff, is because like they'll record a song, they'll get to messing around with the song, don't like the song, but they be like, I gotta finish the song, and they never finish the song, then it's a problem. So finish your songs. So if you can't mix on the fly and finish your songs, don't do it. Record everything, then mix it. But if you can, do it. Knock yourself out. It's all trial and error. You just gotta try experiment to see what you can do and what you can't do. And tip number 8, you gotta understand you can't get frustrated. Just because you can't make it sound like the way you hear it in your head, and you're the person that's recording and mixing, like, don't get frustrated, don't get upset, don't think you're trash, don't think you're less than what you really are, because it's gonna be a lot of trial and error, right? Because some days you might feel it, other days you might not. You know, you might be fucking around doing the wrong settings, you know, something, you just might be doing something wrong. Because if you're the artist and the engineer, you're by yourself. Most of the time you're probably gonna be by yourself, and that's good, and also is bad, because when you're by yourself and shit's not going the way you want it, you get down on yourself and you be like, this is why I can't get shit done, this is why. You don't want to do that. You don't want to put negative energy into the world when you're there trying to create. So if you're frustrated, take a break, come back to it later. If you got a hook and you mixing on it, you can't just get it to sit right, take a break, walk away, go listen to some other music, go watch some YouTube tutorials, something. Just do something completely different, because you gotta understand that being frustrated is not gonna solve anything. You know, just because you're frustrated that you can't get your vocals to sit on top of the beat the correct way, what the fuck is getting mad gonna do? Like, that shit is not gonna like fix it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, analyze your mixes, see what's going on, see if you actually adjusted a setting. You might have missed the plugin up, you might have messed something up in the chain along the way. You gotta be honest with yourself, man. We gotta figure it out, because you want to be something that so many people want to be, and a lot of people fail at becoming this, for real. You know, like, it's not too many famous artists that does everything themselves. Like, this shit is not easy, man. This shit takes a lot of time, and if you want to do this, you gotta understand it's gonna take a lot of your time. Like, you're gonna have to set a schedule, be consistent with the schedule. Look, and a bonus tip for you for this video is this right here. If you're an artist engineer hybrid, if you're both of these people, you want to limit how many people you mix for, how many people you let in to see your templates, your presets, how you do things, because people will steal your shit and run off with it. I'm just saying, like, I'm just being real with you, because it's like, your time is valuable, right? Because you thinking like you're an artist and an engineer, and you just seeing the money from the other people to mix their songs. You gotta understand this too. A lot of people that see you as competition, they're not gonna come to you. They don't want you mixing their songs. They don't want you to see their settings. They don't want you to do nothing with their shit, because they see you as competition. A lot of people that want their songs mixed, they would prefer to go to an engineer person only, right? Because they know that person only wants the engineer. Because you gotta think about it, if you're an artist and somebody sends you a song and you end up liking the song, you might go and record a song just like that. You might take the beat that they got and record to the beat. It's a lot of trust issues that's involved with this mixing artist other shit, because a lot of people be like, I want to make songs, rap, and mix for other people. Make sure the other people are in your camp, or people that trust you, because most of the time people aren't going to do it, just for the reasons I just named. Because you might have an album that you're finna come out, and you don't want nobody to hear the type beats you got, the songs that you got, the lyrics that you got. Somebody might steal your lyrics. Like, you never know what might happen. So like, that's why a lot of people are kind of hesitant on getting other people that are artists to mix their music, you know, because it's like, you're supposed to be my engineer, you supposed to mix for me. Why are you working on your songs before mine? I paid you to do my songs. Why are you doing your songs before mine? You know, you don't want to have to deal with all that back and forth. So I'm just giving you a heads up, giving you some advice, some tips, some life advice here about becoming an artist hybrid engineer. It's a lot of shit that I can say, so it's gonna be different parts of these videos. Listen, let me know in the comment section, what do you struggle with the most about being an artist, engineer, producer, hybrid, whatever hybrid you are. Let me know what you struggle with the most. Listen, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. It's your boy Jordxn. I'm out of here. Alright, cool.